What is New Zealand's greatest invention? Is it the pavlova, number 8 wire, or bungee jumping? New Zealand's produced some great inventions in its short history. Here are 5 great New Zealand inventions that have no doubt rocked your world. Number 1. Instant coffee by David Strang of Invercargill. Now, it may be at the bottom of the world, but Invercargill can hold its head high, safe in the knowledge that one of its very own made being caffeinated something that could take only minutes. Back in the late 19th century, David Strang created the dry hot air process to convert coffee into soluble granules. Strang patented the process in 1890 and started distributing his instant coffee powder around the world. Instant coffee might not be loved so much by coffee snobs, but think about its impact on the world. Strang's invention meant that soldiers, doctors, builders, and so on could get a caffeine boost anywhere, anytime. I mean, think about it. Wars have probably been won because of quick and easy access to coffee. The Electric Fence by Bill Gallagher of Hamilton. Growing up farming in the Waikato, Bill Gallagher had a knack for making gadgets to help with work around the farm. Way back in the 1930s, he owned a cheeky horse that took to using his car as a scratching post. To solve this little problem, he created an electrical circuit in the car that would trigger whenever the horse rocked it. Obviously, the horse didn't like being jolted, and it went to go scratch against something else. A few years later, Bill Gallagher patented the first electric fencing unit for controlling and containing livestock. And the rest is history. Since then, the Gallagher Company has since become a world leader in developing farm equipment and is a bit of a household name across New Zealand these days. Childproof Lids, invented by Claudio Petronelli of Wanganui. If there's one thing Italian hairdressers are famous for, it's engineering and their love of patenting various gadgets for use around the home, garden, and workplace. Claudio Petronelli was a young hairdresser from Rome who, for some reason, decided to move to Wanganui with his wife in the early 1960s. Claudio is the son of an engineer, and he says he became a hairdresser by mistake, really. He'd always had a knack for engineering and inventing, and shortly after moving to New Zealand, he heard a story in the news of a child in the Hawke's Bay who tragically died after drinking poison from a bottle. Having just had his first child himself, Claudio was determined to never hear of an accident like this happening again. And with his business partner Gavin Park, he designed the double-lock childproof cap. Claudio and Gavin sold the patent to an American company that went on to produce millions of his invention. Apparently, Claudio still works as a hairdresser and continues to invent and patent gardening and kitchen tools to this day. The Martin Jetpack by Glenn Martin of Canterbury. Jetpacks were once the stuff of science fiction only, but they've actually been around for some time already now. But perhaps the biggest reason why they've never taken off, and that's pun intended, is because they require a ridiculous amount of fuel for a maximum of about 30 seconds of flight. That was until Glenn Martin of Canterbury's invention. The Martin Jetpack can fly for 30 minutes on a 19-litre tank of gasoline, at an altitude of up to 2,400 metres and a range of 50 kilometres. In the 2000s, he generated a massive amount of interest in this jetpack. Militaries and governments from around the world were particularly interested in buying Martin jetpacks. Unfortunately though, the company Martin Aircraft folded in 2015 after Glenn resigned, and commercial sales never happened. However, you can still buy a prototype on Trade Me though. The Hamilton Jet Boat by William Hamilton of South Canterbury. Here it is, voted New Zealand's greatest ever invention by you, the Hamilton Jet. In the 1950s, New Zealand engineer William Hamilton wanted to build a boat to navigate the fast-flowing rivers of the South Island that were too shallow for propeller boats. His solution was the first modern jet boat using what became known as the Hamilton Jet. His water jet became the gold standard in jet boats after 3 Hamilton jet boats became the first boats to travel up through the Colorado River in the Grand Canyon in the 1960s. Jet boating has become an iconic tourist attraction in New Zealand, and Hamilton Jet continues to be a world leader in water jet technology. So there you have it, 5 more great New Zealand inventions that changed the world, or at least changed somebody's world. If you want to learn about other great New Zealand inventions, then why not check out this video that I think you'll really enjoy.